Picture this. Levon, the terrible dragon, reigns over the world of arm wrestling. A hero rises. Vitaly Laletin? Devin Larratt? Or maybe Hermes Gasparini? Or maybe even Brian Shaw? A hero rides forth on his white steed, determined to slay the dragon. But your vision is just a fantasy. This is your hero. A gremlin. It would be disappointing, right? Levon can't be beaten like this. We don't want the dragon slain like this. We're all kind of thinking it, right? Don't get me wrong, a good part of the fandom loves Jerry Caderet, but in the great story of arm wrestling, Jerry isn't the White Knight. He's the barbarian you meet on a side quest. The ogre you find in a swamp. One could argue that Jerry is more of a freak than Levon is. I mean, no offense to Jerry, he looks like a hairy slug. He whistles like a steam engine when he wins. He uses one move all the time, which makes him look like a mindless automaton on the table. Automaton on the table, kinda hard to say. Well, whatever. Far from it, of course, he's a very intelligent man. But let me go on. Jerry isn't well-rounded or conventionally attractive. He doesn't parade himself on social media. He's not your typical hero. Of course, the arm wrestling world adores him, and I do too, but he's not the one we're rooting for to beat Levon. And that's why he wins. It's an age-old trope. The unlikely hero. Like Wreck-It Ralph, or Wall-E, or Peter Parker, or Bilbo Baggins, or Shrek. These characters don't win because they have all the boxes checked. They win because they have unexpected strengths that give them an edge. Or they're in the right place at the right time. Or they have the best friends in the world. Or look at it another way. Levon is Superman, and Jerry holds a chunk of kryptonite. Like Lex Luthor, he's going to expose Levon's weakness. That weakness is the flop wrist press. And not just any flop, but the heaviest flop in the universe. We're not rooting for the flop any more than we're rooting for kryptonite, let's be honest. But it works. Hermes, who wasn't even confident in his flop, almost pinned Levon with it. See that? Levon was redlining before his elbow came off the pad. Why'd it come off? Well, we might never know. But that same thing is going to happen on Saturday. And it's going to go far worse for Levon this time. I wasn't even excited to make this video until I started writing it. Jerry isn't someone I follow closely, but as I worked, I discovered something. It's because Jerry is such an innocuous character that I'm so curious to see the arm wrestling world flipped on its head. We've all been dying for a champion who has the arsenal needed to beat Levon. A hero with a complete toolkit. But all we ever see is a bunch of guys fighting under Levon, playing an endless game of rock, paper, scissors. Devin beats them all, but somehow lost to Gennady. But Gennady lost to Michael, but Michael lost to Devin, and so on. It's like the weapon triangle in Fire Emblem. Swords beat axes, axes beat lances, lances beat swords. Around and around. Jerry is a part of that cycle. He lost to Hermes last year. So we assume he can't beat Levon. You need to be the complete package to beat him, right? That's why it will be so disenchanting when he does. all our narratives, all our characters, all our anticipation for the perfect battle, a fart in the wind. And Levon will lose his golden aura. He'll be dragged down to the mortal world to play rock, paper, scissors with the rest of us. His legend will fade, and we'll sing Jerry's praises for a while, but the new king will be dethroned a few months later. And deep down, we'll resent him for it, for breaking the spell. I'm personally betting $25,000 on this match. No, I'm not. The only money I've spent is on the pay-per-view. If you haven't, you should buy it too. King of the Table 13, Saturday the 14th, 11 a.m. CST, live on Core Sports. So yeah, that's why Jerry Caderet narratively beats Levon Saganashvili, at least in my story. Does he beat him competitively? That's not my wheelhouse. As a storyteller, I like to focus on the narrative and psychological aspects of anything I get into, which includes arm wrestling. If you'd like to support me or check out some things I've worked on, click the links in the description. Check out my shirt. This is Devin merch right here. Got Devin Larratt merch. Yeah. Now, take care, young hero. Follow your destiny, as unlikely as it may seem.